is day 7. I've had 6 days here in Tassie and I've got 6 to go. I am halfway through my time here in Tasmania. Mount Wellington up there is where I rode up to last night. That was absolutely insane. Dangerously windy and cold. That was bordering on stupidity being up there on a motorbike. I probably should have gone up there this morning in hindsight, but you never know these things. I mean, it still could be bad up there now. It didn't look too bad from down here last night before I went up there. Oh man, such a good ride, but when I got to the top it was just so bloody freaky. So the motel I was staying at here was the Motel Mayfair on Cavill, a historic hotel which I'll tell you a little bit more about later on in the video. If you saw my previous video, you would have seen me trying to find somewhere to stay in Richmond, which is outside of Hobart. I could not find anything in Richmond, so I came into Hobart at the last minute and wanted something close to Mount Wellington and close to the CBD, close to the water and everything. This motel fit my budget and the location was absolutely perfect. It had the added bonus of a laundry so I could catch up on all my washing. As I said, I chose the location because it was close to Mount Wellington. Mount Wellington, or Grinning, as it is known to the First Nations people of the area, is 1,271 metres high and absolutely dominates the landscape around Hobart. It towers over the city and affords amazing views from the top over the Derwent River and the city below. The first thing I did after checking in was get my laundry done, and then I headed out for a little squirt up Mount Wellington. Being located so close to the bottom of Mount Wellington, it was only going to be about a 30-minute ride to get up the top. And I thought, yeah, this is going to be such a sedate ride. It'll be easy, quick little ride up there, check out the views, and it's a beautiful evening for it. The route up to Mount Wellington started off winding its way through the hilly suburban streets. Suburban streets soon gave way to a road through the forest. It started winding its way up through a little bit more of suburbia before taking on the forest again and starting the serious part of the ascent up the hillside. It was here that the wind picked up pace immensely, and I started thinking, well, this is actually a bit of a freaky ride. I'm not really enjoying this. This is quite scary. Despite it being calm with relatively no wind down at city level, the wind was absolutely howling horrifically up the top. I had no idea it was so windy. I didn't do my research. I didn't find out that pretty much every evening it is windy as hell up there. The best time to go apparently is for the sunrise. It's not as windy, but I didn't know. When I got to the top, I found there was absolutely nowhere to park the bike legally that I felt safe. The wind was that strong, I thought if I park it on the wrong angle, it's going to blow my bike over. And it seriously would have blown my bike over if I'd parked it against the wind. So the only option was to illegally park which offered me a great photo opportunity for the bike with the city of Hobart and Derwent River in the background. The only way I could park it was having the wind blow against the right side of my bike, pushing my bike onto the side stand. But man, it was such a mission trying to get the bike off the side stand. I had to use every little bit of my strength to get it upright again and get going. I've never experienced wind like that. I've ridden in some windy places before, but nothing like the top of Mount Wellington. I only spent about 10 minutes up there because it was just unbearable. It was a beautiful view. It was absolutely stunning. I highly recommend going up there, but just check the wind speeds first maybe. So after my brief little stay up there, it was a bit of a delicate ride back down the hill again, through the winding roads as it was getting dark, back through the suburbs of Hobart to settle back into a quiet night in my motel room. So here we go, this is where I'm staying. Hold up here. Got laundry facilities, so I was able to wash all my stuff and dry it all overnight in the clothesline. Let's go for a bit of a look up here. There's the bike down there outside my room. And look at that. Looking over Hobart Harbour, Derwent River, the mouth to the Derwent River there. Absolutely glorious. Hobart is so hilly, so scenic. I like it so far. I've only seen a little bit as I've ridden in yesterday and ridden around a bit last night. Man, it is so hilly, scenic. I love it. The Motel Mayfair where I was staying was originally built about 120 years ago as a private residence for Sir Eccles Snowdon, the former Lord Mayor of Hobart. Originally it was just the main building that you see in the background there, with gardens and trees out the front where the motel units now stand. They were put in during the 1960s. It was great to stay in such a historic place, such a historic building. I do love a bit of history, and the history as well as the location made it the ideal place for me to stay. The next thing on my agenda was to head into Hobart itself and do a little bit of shopping. I needed to pick up some supplies for my next adventure, which was camping overnight in the wilderness. After a nice hearty breakfast in town and picking up all the supplies I needed for the next night, I then set off to explore more of Hobart, check out the riverfront, and explore some more of the history of Hobart. There were some cool places I wanted to see, and one of them was Battery Point, which is a very historic area with some cool old buildings. It's a bit of a touristy area by the look of it, but it wasn't too bad on this particular day when I went through there. Some of the buildings were very cool just to cruise past and have a look at. I didn't stop though. I would have loved to have had more time to check out this area a little bit more, but it was just a quick cruise through Battery Point down to a place I wanted to see at Sandy Bay called Alexandra Battery Park. It was a nice little ride down there, very scenic along the river. Some of these suburbs down there have awesome views over the river. It is a pretty nice part of the world, especially when the weather's good. It didn't take me too long to get down to my destination, which was a very cool spot. Alright, I've just ridden down through the suburbs of Hobart, through Sandy Bay to a place called Alexandra Battery Park. This was where they had a fort back in the day, back in the 1800s, to protect the port of Hobart, the Derwent River, from attack in fear of invasion. You're looking down upon the historic Alexandra Battery, one of the several batteries built in the 1800s to defend Hobart from potential attack by sea. And there are forts up and down the river everywhere. This is just one of them. There's some old bunkers and stuff you can go and have a look through apparently, so I'm going to wander down there and have a bit of a look. It's just a place I randomly found on Google, and Mount Wellington up there, city of Hobart over there, the bridge going over the Derwent River. Look at that, it is a glorious sight on the Derwent River today. Blue skies, nice water. You can wander through the old tunnels and everything. Apparently, let's go and have a look. It's only a little tunnel. I duck my head. It's quite creepy. Wow. Little fireplaces. This is all very, very creepy. Imagine teens down here just running amok. It's just here in the middle of the suburbs, surrounded by houses. This old historic fort. It used to be closed off, but they opened it up. You can just wander around here freely now. If you've ever seen the old classic Australian motorcycling movie Stone, that's what I'm being reminded of now. The old fort that they probably outlawed bikers use as their shelter to hide out. Would have been some sort of a gun turret here. Pew 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 pew, shooting cannons over the water. There's probably all sorts of stuff hidden underneath here too that you haven't got access to anymore. Oh, that's pretty spooky. Got a bit of fireplace in here. Oh yeah. There are tunnels that go well underneath all this. Underneath us here there'd be all sorts of old tunnels and everything, living quarters. So they would have been firing and everything from up here and doing all their main protection, being on guard up at these levels. Underneath, I guess they would have had living quarters. This is pretty insane. So nice and calm and picturesque and serene here today, but when you're expecting the enemy to come, not that they really did come, but when you're stationed here expecting the worst, on a cold wintry day, the sea's rough, it would have been a pretty harsh lifestyle. One can only imagine. How's that? That's just someone's house, someone's fancy new house, all modern and stuff, fairly new anyway, next to this ancient structure. Oh! God, it's a tiny little tunnel. I would not come in here at night. It's pretty spooky. It's so cold in here. That was pretty awesome.
That was a bit of hard work. It's quite a steep little hill, that one. How's the serenity? Oh, that was definitely worth the visit. Alright, time to get out of the city and go and see if I can find my way to Gordon Dam. Get out and camp the night in the wilds.
By this point in time, it was actually getting on a little bit in the day, and I still had a long ride ahead of me to get to my planned camp that evening. So I headed off back through the suburbs, back along the scenic Derwent River, through the outer suburbs of Hobart and out of town. But first I had to stop off at a local motorbike shop to pick up some brake pads, as I had noticed that mine were getting a little bit low on the rear. Didn't need the brake pads right at that point in time, but I knew I would need them soon, so I just wanted to have them with me so I could change them anywhere at any given point in the future. It wasn't a bad little ride over to the shop, and from there it wasn't too far to pick up the main road out of town again and cruise further upstream along the glorious Derwent River, somewhat retracing my ride into town the previous day. I was going back out along the same road to the town of Ooze, but I was going to be turning left, heading up the absolutely stunning road to Gordon Dam. I didn't yet know it, but this was about to become my favourite road of all time.
Wow, that is impressive.